Let's play a game. I will tell you this laptop specs and you will have to guess its price. So, first up we have a 16-inch FHD Plus display, 16GB RAM, 512GB SSD, 13th Gen Intel Core i3 CPU, 65-watt USB-C charging and an aluminum chassis. How much do you think a laptop sporting all these features will cost? Well, the correct answer is Rs 33,990. And this kind of value for money proposition is almost unheard of in this price segment. So the laptop's name is Infinix Inbook Y4 Max and it is the most value for money 16-inch laptop in under Rs 35,000. And this kind of thing is not new for Infinix. They also released one of the most affordable Intel 13th Gen Core i9 laptop last year and one of the most affordable ultra portable thin and light laptops as well in 2023. So at this point, I believe we can all sense a theme here. Infinix's plan is to offer as many features possible in any particular price point. And the Infinix Inbook Y4 Max is no different as well. First of all, its design is really premium and it also has a really great build quality. For instance, the laptop's lid is made out of metal, which feels premium to touch. And it also makes the lid and the hinge very solid. Opening the lid will require you to use both hands, but I would prefer it this way instead of having a loose hinge. Once you open the screen, you'll realize that the laptop sits in its place very firmly and doesn't move around the table as much. That's because of rubberized feet, which gives it a proper grip on any solid surface. The Inbook Y4 Max is also very easy to open thanks to a set of 10 screws which are already exposed. One really convenient thing is that there are no vents on the base, so you can keep the laptop on your lap without any hot air being pumped onto your legs. And in case if you're wondering, the air vents are over here. Now, the laptop's deck area is made up of polycarbonate, but it feels premium to touch. The entire base has rounded corners and despite being plastic, it has very little flex. And if you're typing, you'll find that this surface is solid and tight enough for a good typing experience. Speaking of typing, the keyboard is a full-size one and has nice big keys with good key travel. The specific number of the key travel isn't mentioned, but it is around or more than 1 millimeter, which is considered good enough. Meanwhile, the touchpad is just as huge as the laptop's 16-inch footprint, and it is also installed with precision. And despite how big this touchpad is, you won't find any room to complain over here. And lastly, the power button is placed over here, and over here you have a button to control the fan speed. Alright, enough about the keyboard. Let's move on towards the display. So this is a 16-inch 16:10 1080p plus display with 300 nits brightness and 83% sRGB color space coverage. But in our testing, the laptop's brightness came out to be more than officially claimed, and the color space coverage came out to be less than officially claimed. But overall, it's a fantastic display for the price point. It has a matte coating, good enough viewing angles, and although it does not support high refresh rate, that's okay. It's really not needed on this laptop anyways. But what is actually needed is battery life, and in that case, this laptop absolutely delivers. In our test, the battery came out to be 9.5 hours, which is really good, and you can clearly see how it dominates other laptops in its price range. Now, you do get dual speakers on this laptop, but they have no bass at all. They are loud and you can hear them even in a crowded office. Here, take a listen. In terms of CPU performance, this laptop is powered by an Intel 13th Gen Core i3 1315U CPU. Now, you can get this machine with up to an Intel Core i7 as well, but if you aren't thinking of accomplishing demanding workloads with this laptop, then I would suggest that you go with the Core i3 variant, mainly because of two reasons. In all the Y4 Max variants, only the CPU is different. Rest, the RAM, the storage, the display and everything else is exactly the same. And secondly, this chassis is made to handle something like an Intel 13th Gen Core i7. And the advantage of using an i3 over here is A, almost no thermal throttling, and B, the entry-level CPU is really able to take advantage of the large 16-inch chassis and really stretch its legs by consuming its default TDP of 15 watts all the time. Usually CPUs are so powerful that they heat up, then they drop the power consumption if the laptop's chassis is small in order to cool down. Like in the 14-inch M3 Max MacBook, for example. But over here, there is no such issue. So, what kind of performance can we expect in this Core i3 variant? Well, for starters, in Cinebench R23, the laptop scores 1649 in single core and 4828 in multi-core test. Now, it may not be the fastest single core performance chip out there, but what's really impressive is that it loses minimum points possible in multi-core throttle test. Next up is Geekbench 6, in which it easily dominates most of the laptops in its price segment. So, in real world, opening multiple Chrome tabs, doing a bit of graphic design and even a bit of 1080p video editing in Filmora can be easily done. But don't expect anything more than that. उसके बाद we have SSD test and यहाँ पे laptop's read and write speed is 3472 and 2546 MB per second respectively. To give you an example of what this speed looks like, in real life, this laptop boots up from a cold start in 13 seconds with this kind of SSD speed. Although the laptop has no external GPU, you can still somewhat play games like GTA 5 at ultra low resolution and ultra low graphics, and older games like Arkham Asylum and Arkham Origins. And while under stress or while performing any kind of demanding task, the laptop continues to draw 15 watts, which is its default TDP without any drop in consumption. So in conclusion, the Inbook Y4 Max is the best Windows laptop you can buy under rupees 35,000 in India, and it is well built. It is feature rich and it has decent performance to boot as well. I am so impressed in the fact that this laptop is going to be my default recommendation under rupees 35,000 until a new competitor finally arrives. So that was it for the video. You were watching Digit. My name is Yatnesh Dubey and I will see you guys in the next one.